Okay, so we're going to do a Power Automate get SharePoint site users. We're going to start off creating a flow. Then we're going to get users from SharePoint site. And after that, we're going to filter out the trash entries that we retrieve back from SharePoint. So going here to Power Automate, we're going to hit Create to create a new flow. Then we're going to select Instant Cloud Flow so we can run here manually. We're going to call this Get Users from SharePoint site. Select manually trigger flow. After that, so we can run manually, right? This is our trigger action. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to click on New Step. And we're going to do the send HTTP, right? So we can call SharePoint API. Send HTTP request to SharePoint. After that, we select the site that we want to retrieve the users from. So just click on the arrow here on the right side, select the site, or you can enter a custom value and you can copy and paste the URL if you did not find it. So just I'm going to select here the test site. It's going to be a get method. And I have here already in GitHub the code for that, right? So if I hit code, get SharePoint site users, here is the code. So I can just copy this. So this is the code to do the API request, okay? So you can just paste it here. And we can just put a compose for now to see if it's working, what we're getting back, right? And the GitHub, so I'm just selecting here the body from what we're retrieving back from sending HTTP requests, putting that inside the compose so we can see it, hitting save, and we're going to run test. Just so you know, on the description, I'll post the GitHub, so you also have this available for you. So just hit test, manually, test, continue. Run flow. Done. Okay, if we look here inside the compose, inside the results, we have some data structure here. It's kind of hard to see without putting inside something like a notepad. So I'm just going to put here so we all see it. And here we have the results. Then we have array structure, right, that we want. So we see a couple of them have a null value, right, for user principal name. We're going to clean that out. That's part of the cleanup process. A couple of them are null. But a couple of them do have the value, right, where we do have the user itself. So here we have one user, and then we have another null, right, another one that's trash that we don't want. It's another null. This is another user. Right, so user principal name is usually a good way to filter out the ones you really need. So this is test 1, for example, right? So now what we're going to do is we're going to basically just put this within a clean structure that we really want. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add an action. I'm going to put select. So we put into a better structure that we want, right? So from, we're going to use certainly the send HTTP request, right? You can certainly use that body there, but the body itself does not have the array structure. It's within the results. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to rename this so it's easier for us to use this as a variable. I'm going to put, let's say, get users, okay. And then here we have to put an expression that iterates to this structure here, right? So to iterate to this, we need to go into the results, right? This is the where we can iterate through the JSON. So I already put here also on GitHub, you can just copy and paste, which is body and the results. That's basically the data structure that we can iterate through the data. So I copied, I'm going to paste that and set expression, just gonna hit OK. And to map here out, we're going to put user principal name. And here for each one, we just put an item. And then we put the value that we want within each structure there. So within each structure, we have all this data, including user principal name. That's what we're going to use today. If you have email, you can just use email for yourself. I'm going to use user principal name is what I have here. And then I can just clean this out and put from whatever the output is from the select here in the compose, so we can debug and see what's going on. So now I can hit test. I'm going to do a manual run flow. Okay, so now we have the cleaned up structure for what we want. I see user principal name here. Alright, so a couple of them are null. Alright, so I don't want these nulls for sure. I just want the ones that have the values that I want, right? Which is test1, test2, and remote, right? So let's just hit edit. How do we filter these out, right? So we have another nice little action that we can use. Just type in filter. It's called filter array from data operation. So here, what we're going to use is we're going to use the previous value from select, right? Because we cleaned this up, and we want to do a filter based upon the item, right? So item username. So let's just copy this, right? So we're going to use expression item username is not equal to null. Okay, so null, we have to click on the box expression and then type in null. Otherwise, it's Power Automate thinks is null as a string, so we have to put this within the expression so we know it's null. And then here on the output, we just clean it up and we just put whatever is the output from the filter array. So I hit save, and after hitting save, I can just hit test and perform a manual run the flow. Okay, so it decided to not show up. So when this happens, you can just go back to previous. Let's just click on the last execution. It's going to show up there for us. And now the null values have gone away. So now with this right structure, you can do whatever you want, right? You can send emails or put inside Sharepoint lists. It's up to you on what you want to do with this information. I hope you enjoyed the learning and have fun there with your hacking there, getting users to SharePoint sites.